Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome on in. I'm your host, BullMuscle. You should be able to hear me okay. Just go ahead and make sure we've got a quick audio check here. I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a life update. So this won't be a huge stream, but I felt it necessary to do. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started on that. Did I set up the PC on this stream? First off, thanks again for the resub, Mr. Mikey. No, this is just a laptop stream, right? So I'll show you guys around the little room here. We had a huge UFC party with all the furniture yet. No, I am not in Hawaii yet. Thank you. Appreciate that. Welcome on in, y'all. Suppose this is 18 plus. Fuck it. I'm comfortable as hell anyway. Why not? So, yeah. Cut cycle's still going pretty well. Ate a lot of pizza yesterday, so probably not the greatest day for it, but we're doing just fine. I am not in Hawaii yet, Celaya. I am right now in the DFW metro area. For those of you who still have not seen the itinerary, it is on my announcements channel in my Discord. So for those of you who are wondering, where is Bull going to be? When is he getting to Hawaii? All of those questions are right there on my Discord. As far as snuggling with me is concerned, this couch is quite good for it. Can rearrange these to make love seats too, so it's pretty great. Thought next time you were gonna see me be in Hawaii. No, so I've tried my best via the Discord to try and keep y'all updated on what I'm doing and where I'm at, and I'm trying to meet a bunch of people too. So I said it was a long process. Don't be gross. No snuggling on my recliners. Yes, this is what I was trying to get to was I am here in Texas for the time being. I'm here because I have a ton of friends living in the Lone Star State. The last stream y'all saw me was in Houston. I was streaming with Plus Ultra Eddie. We had a really great time. I know that was quite a while ago. Really, the way the streaming schedule is working is I try and do it wherever I can. Thankfully, the internet is good enough here. Echo, good to see you. Yes, please go check out Lab Boys because I'm hanging with the homie Lab Boys right now. Maybe he'll make a little appearance on here, maybe he won't. But seriously, go check out Lab Boys TV on YouTube, y'all. He's awesome. Yeah. Okay. First off, so for those of you, if any of y'all like mixed martial arts, and y'all in any way are into combat sports, UFC 300 happened last night. I will say it's not my number one sport, but if you can't watch the quality of the fighting that took place last night and say to yourself, all right, I'm into this, nothing's going to get you into the sport. I'm not a huge fan of UFC. I won't go out and watch UFC matches on my own, but that was some of the best fighting I have ever seen. And yeah, the Holloway fight, holy shit. Okay, spoiler alert. Okay, so do this and yell la 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 for the next 15 seconds if you haven't heard this bit. But spoiler alert, Holloway won with a KO at the literal last second. 4:59 in the fifth round. Absolutely mind blowing. We all lost our shit here because it was just, one of the best fights I've ever seen in terms of just how many strikes Holloway landed on his opponent. It's bonkers. The technique, the style is really good in terms of being. I think because he moved up a weight class, and there's going to be the question of is he going to get pieced up a little bit? No, his strategy was to go with lots of quick strikes, and it really just it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But welcome on in, one and all. Snuggling on my recliners. Yeah. But as far as Hawaii is concerned, so no, I'm currently in Texas. I've got the whole itinerary already up on my Discord. For those of you who don't know where my Discord is, there you go. but I'll go ahead and run through it right now. So I am here in the state of Texas for another couple of days. The reason I'm sticking around here longer than originally planned, today, the 14th, was supposed to originally be the day I was heading west. Well, the reason I didn't is because I ended up selling my car. My beloved Chevy Volt is now the property of a very good friend of mine who lives up in Greenville. Um, no, I'm not staying in Texas for good. I was just about to get to when I was leaving. But as a result, I needed a few extra days to figure out, well, okay, how do I get from here to the West Coast and do the rest of my trip? So I was looking for a while at used cars and, buying one here, then selling it up in the Northwest, see if I could sell it for a profit. Ended up not doing that because taxes is the biggest reason, and I wasn't really looking to turn my life into a Top Gear episode. So instead, I found finally, it took me a while to find a good deal, but I ended up finding a decent enough deal on a rental for a van, like a Ford Transit. So on the 18th, I'm going to pick that up, hang out the night of the 18th with a guy in Arlington, very good friend of mine. And then on the 19th, I'm heading out to New Mexico. Echo should be seeing you out there, so cheers. Um, then the 20th through the 23rd is going to be in and around the northern Arizona, southern Utah canyons. So not quite Moab, but more like, obviously Grand Canyon. Petrified Forest, if I've got the time. Maybe I'll, do something in New Mexico as well. That one's really dependent on when I get out there. Probably won't do Moab. It'll be, so I've got a friend in St. George. So because of that, I'll probably be looking more towards the southwestern corner of Utah. Like that, really along that Utah-Arizona border. So I may do a lot more on the Grand Canyon just because it's there. And, well, the Grand Canyon is just absolutely stunning. If I end up spending a night in St. George, that does mean I'm going to have to go through Vegas, a city I have absolutely no use for. We've been on that rant before, so I'm moving to Utah. No, listen to what I'm saying. So that's the 23rd. 24th, I've already got a meetup with a friend of mine in Venice Beach in California. He's a surf instructor, so if I'm moving to Hawaii, right, I'm going to probably want to at least know something about surfing. Oh yeah, I heard the Phoenix Coyotes might be moving up to Utah to Salt Lake. I actually think that's a pretty good decision. Salt Lake City is a pretty strong and growing city, and there's a lot more appetite for winter sports there. Plus, you could get a terrific rivalry with the Avalanche going on. Find yourself a good Mormon girl. Would not be opposed. You go through Vegas. The Hoover Dam is cool to check out if you have the time. I have seen the Hoover Dam. So last time I went to Vegas, there were three things I really liked doing. One was a Golden Knights game, one was Icebox Canyon, and one was the Hoover Dam. If you're an engineer and you appreciate, what I would call man-made wonders of the world, that the Hoover Dam's got to be on that list. It is absolutely terrific. 25th, 26th of April, hanging out in Central California with a friend of mine. You'd have to convert to the LDS faith to get a Mormon girl. Don't think that's true. It's not quite as intense as Islam usually. Oftentimes there would be a lot of societal pressure to do that, though. So, the 25th, 26th, I'm going to be in Central California around Stockton, Sacramento. 27th, I'm going to go hike up Shasta. Probably won't go all the way up because I don't quite have the gear necessary to hike a 14er, but I'd like to at least hit the snow line, which in late April in California should be fairly high up. I'd like to get, 10,000 feet up. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe not quite at the summit, but I'd like to get fairly high up. 28th will be Crater Lake. Thank you very much, Trigger Bell. And then 29th will be the arrival in Washington State. So I have family up in Washington State. That may be the next time I stream. It may not. I may try to get a stream with the homie in Stockton. I may try to get... It probably won't happen in New Mexico or Arizona. There just probably won't be a very convenient time to do so. So the 29th of April, I will be hitting up Washington State for a few days, hanging with my mom, hanging with my family. And then May 9th, as I've said, um, May 9th, I'm flying out to Hawaii. So we're just grifting for the rest of the time? What the hell are you talking about? This was literally my schedule. Like, I've had this same schedule announced on my Discord for weeks. I'm not really sure why me being on the same schedule that I've said I was going to be on is a grift, but no, I took off about 6 to 7 weeks in between. My old job, I finished working on April 1st. My new job, I start working on May 20th. So, as y'all know, the whole financial independence thing right here, I have enough money to where, yeah, I can go without working for a month or two and be just fine. I have enough saved up. God damn it, y'all are wild. No, just chilling here for a few extra days. I'm really happy about that, honestly. It's all good, no problem. But no, I'm not grifting. It just sounds like Salaya. You may need to check the Discord a little bit more often if you're wondering what the schedule is. It seems like maybe you haven't seen any of that. Anyway, as far as travel concerns are going, that's kind of going to be how it is. I'm gonna hit a few more workouts with the bro here, my bro Lab Boys, over the next couple of days, and then I doubt I will be able to work out a ton from about the 18th to the 29th. I'm not sure what you say on Twitch. Yeah, see, the Discord's really helpful for this. I said that in the last few streams. It's like, if you guys want to see more frequent updates, that's the best I can offer. No, a grifter is someone who's trying to run a scam, but either way, that's not what I'm doing here. Are you afraid to leave the mainland at all? No, I'm going to do it. It's just I'm going to do it when I said I was going to do it. But as for the trip, lifting wise, so gonna get to lift with my bro. Probably will not be able to stream that, but gonna be able to get a couple lifts in tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then I'm probably not going to be able to get another lift in for quite some time. Probably not until I'm in California. That's not ideal. I don't like that, but it is what it is. Maybe I'll get lucky and the homie in St. George will hook me up for one, but that's not a for sure thing. But because I'm going to be spending a ton of time hiking, I think I'm going to be all right. If I miss the gym for a week or two, it's going to suck, but I'll be okay. Hawaii, yeah, I'll be flying over open water. I've done it a ton of times in the past. What's up, John? How you doing? Good to see you. I saw, John, you putting up some crazy numbers as always, man. Much respect. Love to see it. Definitely, really, respecting what you're putting up. But as for lifting, it may be that I have to go a little bit more than a week without the gym. Sucks, but what are you going to do? I'll manage. Vacuum sucks more. As far as lifting's concerned, once I get down in Hawaii, May 9th is going to be the day I'm there. I fly in fairly late in the evening, so not too late, but like 6 p.m. Hawaiian, which is like 8 p.m. Western or 10 p.m. here. So what that's going to mean is that I'm realistically, that day is going to be just, find a place to crash for the night, which I haven't quite hashed out yet, but I think I'm getting closer. I've already found a lot of good spots for looking for rentals, both studios, 1 beds and 2 beds. So what I may end up doing is hitting a studio for a month or two, really scoping out the island well, and then moving on. Or what I might do is, live in do a hotel for a night or two, really just do nothing but house hunt the first few days, and then commit to an apartment for a year. Not really sure exactly what the move is, but the point should be that I'm completely ready to go for my job when it starts on the 20th. I will be safe. Let's see. One of the million things that go wrong, especially all this Boeing shit. Well, okay, great, but there's no way for me else to get out there, and I'm not going to live my life in fear. Um, Calipari left UK for a pay cut to coach Arkansas. Whoa, that's wild. Mark Pope. Well, he's got big shoes to fill. Obviously, Calipari, that sort of that run did not end very well, but Calipari and Kentucky were a lot of dynamite basketball teams for a lot of years, you know. I will be safe, though. Do I want to stay in Hawaii indefinitely? Probably not. I could. If I find that I absolutely love the island life and I love working there, well, okay, obviously I care if the plane goes down, but I think the media is telling you this happens a lot more often than it actually does. I'm not, for the love of God, I'm not going to take fucking multiple weeks on end to sail from the West Coast to Hawaii when it would take a few hours by plane. That's ridiculous. No, there really aren't that many boats to Hawaii. Yeah, Chad is wild in today. I think there have been a lot of people got some questions. No, I don't want to stay. This is a good question about staying in Hawaii indefinitely. No, I probably won't. Given just my history, I have never lived in somewhere in a place for more than 4 years. So it's like, why would I do that? I think what will happen is that I'm going to really like this job. I'm going in with the expectation that I'm going to like the job. And what may happen is if I fall in love with the place, great, I'll stay in Hawaii. But if I don't, if I decide I love the beach life, but Oahu's a bit too built up for me, I still love the job. Well, that's what Guam's there for. With the AUKUS deal, could send me to the UK or Australia, or could send me back to the continental U.S., maybe Puget Sound or San Diego. So we don't really know. Yeah. Hey, what's up, music comp? If you take a boat, you'll be safer. No, you won't. Not really. Soreness. Oh, you're gonna hit a big hike tomorrow. Roll along the tundra like a tumbleweed. No. But Lab Boys is correct. Like honestly, driving is way more statistically speaking. If you look at the numbers, not the headlines, driving is far more risky than flying an airplane or riding on a boat. Does that mean no RuneScape for a while? Yeah, unfortunately, Trigger Bellet does. I could play RuneScape on this laptop, but I could not do that and stream at the same time. Anyway, my RuneScape setup is on the big tower computer, which is packed up in boxes right now. So, trains are safer than boats driving in planes. Yes, but you can't take a train to Hawaii. You should ride a rock out to Hawaii like the pioneers did. Yeah, hell yeah. I did used to ride those babies for miles. Have to find one in great shape though. They're hard to find. Saw a car flip and crush the occupants of the car. It's crazy. Damn, that is pretty wild. That's wild. Nah. Trying to think about what else. Echo 5, I think that was the reference Lab was making there. As far as what else has been going on. Okay, so I'll give a little bit of a recap on how the last few weeks have been. Tell you what. Hey, Small Stick Figure, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on into the bullpen. We're doing something a little different today, but appreciate you popping on in. Am I in Dallas? Yes. So I'm not going to exactly dox where I am, but I'm in the DFW metro area. So as far as my trip's concerned, I'll go back and kind of talk about this. So as y'all know, I left South Carolina April 2nd, drove all the way in one fell swoop from my old stomping grounds in, now I can say, the city, Jackson, South Carolina, to the city of Houston. First night spent Houston. It was a lot of fun. Small Stick Figure. Hey, thanks for the first time chat. Always love to see that. I think we're like really close to 2,000 followers, by the way. So that'd be pretty baller if, just sitting here recapping the trip. We get that, but I'm not expecting it. As far as the rest of the trip's concerned, so hit Got to Houston on day one. That was a long drive. I mean, I got up at 2-ish in the morning to start. Um, I went. The reason I got up that early was because Jackson, South Carolina, is about 2.5 hours from the metro Atlanta area. And look, there's a reason when Ludacris wrote the song "Move Bitch," he literally featured Interstate 20 in the title. So, yo, lad, thanks for the sub. Much obliged, my man. Oh, that's Mikey. Thank you for the gift sub. Yes, I'll talk about Dodger in a minute. I'm going to finish talking about the trip so far. But yeah, I'll get back to that for sure. I'm thinking she will stream eventually as well. She's kind of getting settled in, but I'll give you an update on that. The second drove all the way from South Carolina to Houston in one go. It was like 17 hours total. Did get to see one friend in Lafayette, Louisiana, get some crawfish et etouffee, which was wonderful. Love, 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 love Cajun food. The next day, as y'all saw, I was lifting with Plus Ultra Eddie. Hung out with a good friend of mine up in the Woodlands area. He had a new girlfriend, and that girlfriend knew a was was a nurse at one of the hospitals in the Houston metro area. Trying not to be too specific, and she ended up being quite the wingman. Set me up on a little coffee date with another girl. So that was kind of nice. The next day, got to do a little short coffee date. We hung out. Things went really well. I'm not going to go too far beyond that. If y'all want the details, that'll be on the Discord. You know what I'm saying. So that was the first few days. Went up to College Station after that. So for those of y'all who don't know, yeah, I'm rocking the jewelry. I think the Israeli disinformation campaign is sort of starting to pass the whole A&M Qatar thing. I think most people realize that no, Texas A&M is not selling nuclear secrets to the Qataris, so scuttle that disinformation. Uh, as far as Reckoning, thanks for the alert. Appreciate you sticking around. As far as trip in College Station was a lot of fun. It's wild to see how much Aggieland has changed. It's damn near 80,000 students now, up from the 65-ish thousand it was when I was there, and it's only been a few years. Tinder J Rig, welcome on in. Thanks for the first time chat. We saw. I did kind of my own elephant walk. Saw all around campus. It was wild to see how much had changed and what hadn't changed. And I got to pour one out for the mechanical engineering computer labs that got taken away. That was a casualty of COVID, apparently. So, is what it is. But a lot of a lot of long nights and good and bad memories in that fucking lab. Stressing out, working 80-hour, spending 80 hours on studying minimum, but. Watching the Reds game, you have a player named Nick Martini. That's pretty cool. Hey, what's up, TSM? So College Station was pretty solid. I got to hang out with some pretty cool friends. Cherry Red on Twitch here. She's pretty great. I don't think she's streaming regularly right now, so won't shout her out. But she's awesome. Hung with her. Hung with a couple other people. Went and got a workout in with one of my friends at College Station. Then the 6th, went up to a little town called, well, it was rural Texas, but the nearest town is Canton, Texas, home of the world, or at least locally famous, Canton Trade Days. We had a big old crawfish boil. It was absolutely fantastic. If you've never had crawfish boil, you don't know good cooking. It's just really, really good. Had that, then went up to watch the eclipse in my old stomping grounds of Greenville, Texas. Which is a little town, I would still say not within the DFW metro area. Hunt County's a bit too far out. The eclipse was absolutely phenomenal. I got to see that, hang out with a lot of dear old friends, one of whom I sold my car to. The friend of mine, or the eclipse in Greenville, it's one of those things that really makes you appreciate how small uh, we all really are here compared to the vast majesty of even a very unremarkable solar system within an unremarkable galaxy, within an unremarkable cluster of galaxies within our universe. So it's really kind of it's a very good perspective changer. Those 4 minutes of darkness are rather special, especially when you get it's totality. Like it gets dark, the crickets start chirping, and it's just absolutely wonderful. Can't see you live in Hawaii permanently. Totally see you settling down in Beverly Hills. Fuck no. Utrecht, maybe. Brooklyn, fuck no. Paris, never been. God, Toronto, absolutely not. Toronto has all the expenses of San Francisco and all the weather of Cleveland. Who would want to live there? Fuck living in Toronto. Yeah, it got just sunny enough in Greenville for it to be the perfect conditions for an eclipse. It was wonderful. Um, I've looked up at the sky for hundreds of thousands of years. I still have no idea what any of it means. I think that's not true. See, this is where my religion comes in. Science is the how, and we should continue to pursue learning the how as much as possible, but religion is the why. Um, hey, how are you doing? Settling in okay? I'm still on the move. We're just chilling for today. But beyond that, that was the 8th. The following days, we're coming here, hanging out in Plano with my bro. Shout out at Lab Boys TV. But also selling the car and looking for transportation options, which brings us to last night. Terrific UFC match. We had a really great party. You know, I was drinking like Klausstaller NA beers. I may have one more of those today before the stream's all over, but we had a good time. The fights were absolutely spectacular. Definitely one of the best fight nights I have ever seen. I can't think of a better one. Just every card. I mean, the fight between Yan and Zhang Wei Li is absolutely incredible. The fight for Lab isn't on Twitch. He's on YouTube, so you can just do that. There you go. But Max Holloway, the fight with him, Alex Pereira absolutely clowning on Jamel Hill. That was hilarious. Dude, Hill, I don't think it was on purpose, but accidentally landed a kick right to Pereira's nuts, and the judge came in to call a timeout because in nut shots, it's a foul. You're not supposed to do that. Pereira waves off the judge and absolutely just deletes Hill from this entire realm. Like you can see in the slow-mo, you can see it's almost like the Grand Theft Auto wasted flash, Dude, Hill was just absolutely gone. It was hilarious. It was a really good finisher on the night. But all of those, even like Jim Miller and his endless streams of face blood, like fantastic fight. No idea how he didn't have, complete blood loss and pass out mid-fight, but he managed. Just every single one of those fights was really good. Absolutely stacked the card. Definitely the best of what MMA has to offer, is what I would say. It 180 question finals tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Good luck, Trigger Bell. Wishing you the best. Good luck. Yeah, Niam. Honestly, none of those cities would be top on my list. Maybe Utrecht, but I'd pick somewhere warmer in Europe, frankly, because I like the beach. Although, I guess the Dutch have pretty decent beaches. The problem is it's just cold most of the year. As far as, okay, Dodger. So let me give you all a Dodger update. For those of you who don't know, my ex-roommate, Dodger of Zion, got a new job in Myrtle Beach. And she moved yesterday all of her stuff from the house in Jackson out to Myrtle. So she's setting herself up out there. I imagine today's mostly unpacking and getting ready for her first day on the job, which starts tomorrow. So I think she will be streaming. I can't tell you when. You'd need to ask her. My guess is as good as yours as to when. All things considered, I'm very happy with how things ended for Dodger. I was really hoping that I could help her out. And in a lot of ways, I feel like I really positively impacted her life. So I can look back on all the good times there and know that things ended up for the best regarding Dodgers. So I'm very happy about that. So Big Red, that is if you have specific questions, I can talk to you about that. I think she said she might go do some writing out at Sunset Beach, which is the southernmost beach in North Carolina. It's just on the other end of the border today, so we'll see. I'm thinking, she always wanted to be in the Palmetto State, but she really loved Myrtle. So it makes me very happy. I think she found where it was she was meant to be. Ooh. Okay, I am out of water, so I may actually have to get me a little nice. Yeah, Neum, you wouldn't caught me dead in any of that high grade luxury crap. Absolutely not. That's a waste of money. I don't. I'm not buying any. I'm not into high fashion. That's just money thrown down the drain. If I wanted to live that kind of, um, I thought Bullock's doing nothing. Honestly, Mikey, I think he's trolling. That's got to be what it is. Trigger Bell, now you're saying what I believe is on everyone's mind. Okay, let's talk about that. This is let's talk a little bit about the cut cycle. So last night, not ideal. Landed at 226 this morning. Been floating in the mid 220s, so we're down about 7 pounds from the start of the bulk, which is just about 1 pound a week. Don't really want to take it any faster than that. Really want it to go slow, ideally, right? The last week has been about a maintenance for me, just because of all the great food. Got offered, roasted and smoked chicken, crawfish boil, pizza for the, last UFC fight night. So last week's been kind of my maintenance week, which is about on time because I had been going for about 6 weeks, so I needed a maintenance break anyway. So today, had a big pho meal for lunch, which was really good. I had that, a spring roll, and half a banh mi. So that's probably around, if I had to guess, I haven't really done the math on this, somewhere around 2,000 calories. Probably not eating much more than a salad for the rest of the night. Maybe a protein shake if I really need more protein, which I might do that. Oh my gosh, though. Pho, terrific. Best pho I've had in the state of Texas for sure. Probably the best I've ever had, period. This was Kobe beef pho, which I don't normally treat myself to, but wow. Oh my lord, it was good. GQ material very attractive. Summer's coming, so shred season. We're working on that. As for watch collecting, no, I am not a smartwatch guy. In fact, the reason I have this, okay, is specifically because it isn't a smartwatch. This is an indestructible solar-powered tank that I could actually wear at a federal nuclear site, whereas anything with Bluetooth, so smartwatches, I can't wear. The G-Shock is to watches what the Toyota Land Cruiser is to cars. It's ugly, it's indestructible, and there's no questions about what it's there to do. It's there to do a job. It's there to be very functional, and that's what this does. Dallas does have a huge Vietnamese population. I think Houston has an even bigger one. I know there's very, very good Vietnamese in Houston, and I'll tell you what. As much as I love pho, and pho is just spectacular on a cold day, but man, banh mi may be the ultimate fusion food. I think French food is very overrated most of the time, but the French just do know how to make the perfect bread. A good baguette just hits different. Then you pack in all the Vietnamese, usually grilled pork or shrimp or whatever else, or beef, whatever you want inside a banh mi, and it's just beautiful. The new Land Cruiser is nice. Yeah, okay, but much in the same way, as far as Land Cruisers, the analogy works really well here. Much in the same way that in most of the world, in the United States, we only get the luxury versions of the Land Cruiser, which is dumb, but whatever. In most of the rest of the world, the Land Cruiser is a utilitarian, off-road, dependable, rugged vehicle first, and then you can option it up if you want it to be. Much in the same way that if you get a basic square G-Shock, it's going to cost you somewhere between $50 and $100, and it's going to be very functional. It's going to get the job done. You can go mid-range like this as an arrangement. It's got a lot more features, solar powered, and it's a little bit bigger, which for a guy my size works pretty well. But it's still not top of the line. You got like, the analog MRGs or the ones made with really nice materials that kind of match like the really high level luxury Land Cruisers to finish the metaphor. Florida, Georgia, Virginia, New York. No, there's tons of Vietnamese in Los Angeles and Houston, especially. You start hating on Cartier, Rolex, and luxury brands. I thought you was a smartwatch type of guy. No. So I think luxury watch brands, I can appreciate how good some of the mechanical ones can be in terms of like actual hand-built mechanical complexity, but that's never going to be as efficient in terms of actually doing the job of keeping the time as a basic quartz watch setup. Smartwatches have gotten a lot better in the last 10 years. I don't like the Apple Watch. I just think it looks kind of chintzy. It's the entire Apple design motif that I'm not really a fan of. It's a bit too, beta is not the right word, but like kind of, I'm not an Apple person, to put it mildly. It's a bit too smoothed out. It's a bit too bar of soapy for me. As far as smartwatches are concerned, some have gotten very good. This is the thing. I would consider a smartwatch, especially one with more fitness features, especially something like Garmin, Suunto, Polar. Those are kind of the big three that make them. Would not do anything from China, absolutely not. But Garmin in particular would love to have one, but I can't have anything with Bluetooth at my old job, and I'm suspecting it's probably going to be the case with my new job. Now, if it turns out I can wear a smartwatch to work, well, then maybe I will. I know the Garmin Instinct is really popular among military guys, where there's a tactical feature to really like disable all the extra technology, but to make it harder to track. But anything with, especially in the nuclear world, everything moves slower. So anything with GPS is an OPSEC risk. Anything with Bluetooth is an OPSEC risk. So anything like an Apple Watch or even a Garmin or a Suunto or something like that, just not a good idea. So where does that leave you? Well, for me, I'm a big guy. I want something that kind of fits the... I don't like to say my fashion is anti-fashion because that sounds incredibly pretentious, but like I pick what is comfortable. I pick what is suited for the task at hand. Most of my time, that's going to be a t-shirt and a pair of basketball shorts because that way I can go and lift whenever I want to and not really worry about what it is that I'm wearing. I don't care. This is a Shiner box shirt. I have it because I had a good deal on it and because, come on, the logo looks really cool. It's got the RAM. So, doesn't the U.S. military control the GPS system? Yes, but does that mean it's impervious to a foreign agent trying to abuse it? No. So on any federal limited or special, sensitive access area, nothing Bluetooth comes in. So it's an OPSEC risk. It's about OPSEC stands for operational security. Need the Xiaomi smartwatch? Absolutely not. No, as far as old like classic style watches, Rolex, first off, Rolex is, to me, very overrated. If I was going to go for a more classical style like that, maybe Omega, or I like Breitlings. I think those look really cool, but I cannot fathom the value in spending 4 digits on an optional piece of what is ultimately inefficiently designed jewelry. I don't see the value in that. Like this Aggie class ring is a bit of an exception because if you have ever been in an interview, Aggies hire Aggies. There is a reason we do that. It's a cult. It is a cult signifier. But like G-Shock, couple $100, done. Don't have to worry about it, and it's gonna last as long as you don't try to fucking demolish it with a flamethrower. Even then, it might still last. But yeah, I don't have much interest in the really fancy, expensive stuff. Not for me. no logo or barely a logo on it, and it's comfortable. Exactly. Fashion is a hugely wasteful industry, and it's not very good for your wallet, frankly. You spent $6,000 on a tailored suit, so I got a pretty basic. I got it tailored, but it was I just went to what's the one I just went to a real standard, retailer suit store, because I need, especially in a place like Hawaii, right? Nobody wears suits out there. Why would you need to wear a full suit and tie in a place where it's 80 degrees every day? It doesn't make sense. The suit is meant for English weather. It's meant for 40 degrees and, kind of gray. Doesn't really work for the tropics. If you wanted to say something, I was about to go get my last class dollar, so.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Take over the stream for a moment.
This is my homie Lab Boys TV. Y'all have seen him. Definitely go check out his content.
Yeah. This is what I never knew what it looked like on this side, seeing the Chacobie and everything, but no, I heard you talking about watches. I had to show, this is actually the correct watch to buy. You go get like the nicest AP or a Rolex or something, but you buy it in like I got this in Thailand. You go buy it in China or Taiwan or something. So you get the really cool watch, but you pay like $100 for it instead of like $200K. So that's my solution. How are y'all doing on the stream? How are we doing? Hi, another handsome Caucasian. Thank you. Man, I am a bit hungover. Cannot lie. We had a really good time last night. Do I live stream? Nah, no, I don't. I have a YouTube channel you can check out if you want. I'll type it in the chat. No, I don't stream. I'm actually his little brother.
Yeah.
So
we them boys.
I know him pretty good. Not just his little brother in age, but I'm also like, we're the same height. We're both like 6'3", but he's probably got right now we're cutting, so our weights are changing a lot. But he's got like 30 pounds of muscle on me. He definitely is a lot stronger than me.
I will, by all means, though, homie here, you might think, all right, well, I'm definitely stronger. I'm going to win in a fight. The only way I'm winning in a fight is if I get a very lucky hit. This dude actually knows how to spar, and if you go check out his channel on YouTube, you can see it for yourself. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, no. we got a not spicy Korean soup, but we went and got pho and had like a banh mi to feel a little better. But yeah, it definitely helped. Well, he's not hungover because he's not drinking. But
nope. This is actually I got some of these for last night. I got these at the HEB. They're Classstaller 0.0 non-alcoholic beer. I like the way they taste, and this is the last one for today. So, asking for science, is he single? Telling for science, he is hetero. Very fucking hetero, Trigger Bell. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I am single, though.
Yeah. Nah, tell you what, you want to talk about way more success in that aspect of life. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. But my boy Lab here, if you love the content, seriously, go check it out on YouTube. Give him a subscribe, give him a like, a comment, anything like that.
You need to get John on the stream for some of your fans.
I was telling John to come in. Yeah. I don't know why he hasn't. The Big Gay Mikey might meet Big Gay Johnny.
Yeah, my buddy who was here last night. We were roommates in college. He's fully gay.
Oh yeah.
He would like the stream. He's the technical term I think is a bear. He's like a
definitely
huge dude from like East Texas. It's funny too because I think a lot of people have a stereotype of like what a homosexual talks like when they talk and like that like the gay inflection stuff. And he's like kind of like he's like a big redneck mixed with like a San Francisco tech bro.
It's
a weird mix.
It is,
but he's a fun character.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Non-alcoholic beverages. Well, so basically, he's not drinking alcohol for like all the full year. Mm-hmm. But the reason we drink beer, or at least the two of us, both of us actually enjoyed the taste of it. Like last night, I did get a nice buzz going, and I definitely was feeling good from the alcohol. I don't feel great from it today, but I actually enjoy the taste of beer, so I see why you would drink a
Yeah.
non-alcoholic beer. You were not like an alcoholic though. It's not like you had a
No.
problem. You just
But like,
didn't want to drink
yeah,
for a while.
if I wanted to get fucked up, I'd go for liquor. But that's the thing. I like beer because of the way beer tastes, and this tastes really nice. Well, good enough anyway. And more importantly, I will say, on the bulk cycle, not drinking at all definitely helped with the gains. You had $2,500 scotch. Oh, you're out here flexing, aren't you?
That is too much money.
That is entirely too much money on
I
a
can't.
drink.
But you have to like have a an appreciation for something like that.
Oh,
Like
sure.
a really nice wine or scotch. Like if you actually like I don't have the palate or whatever to like drink that and be like, this is so clearly better than like a shot of like Jack Daniels or something. Like it's all
You know,
fire water to me. Like
I can tell the difference. I've had Silver Oak wine.
edema? You mean enema? Is that what you're?
The best way to
okay,
get
I see
drunk is
enema.
an enema.
I mean, he's not wrong.
So I've had really nice Silver Oak wine before, and I know that's not like the most expensive and the most expensive Chateau de blah 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 French wine, whatever. It's really nice, high grade wine that my mom and my dad have very good close family friends. They're basically aunt and uncle to us, and they're into uncle in particular. No, he's into wine and scotch. I'm real basic when it comes to my scotch. Lefroy 10 gets the job done. You know, Lefroy 10 to me that's my specialty occasion drink. Very, very content with that. And this is the problem with the hedonic treadmill. If you treat yourself to the really highest of the high end stuff all the time, it begins to lose what makes it special. So be very, very careful. If you're going for I can make a good wine myself, and I have.
Eh.
How the fuck would you know?
I think that's a good point. I'm not drinking your bathtub wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think there is
Sorry
something
about
to what he just said, and it goes beyond just like alcohol. But I notice it when I'm doing like the cut cycle. When you do go eat, like last night we had pizza, we're watching fights. I'm having
Yeah.
a beer. I hadn't drank in over a month. It's like because you're eating clean and not going out a lot for food. Eating cans of tuna like a caveman bodybuilder. When you do go get like a banh mi or you go get In-N-Out burger, you're having pizza or beer, like you appreciate it more.
It hits so much different.
Yeah, like when you watch someone who like their diet mostly consists of like fast food, when they get to have some Popeyes or something, they're like not that stoked because that's just the normal diet.
Exactly.
So it's almost like the more like an incel probably really appreciates getting laid,
Or even just a hand job. Well, no, but it's the same. It's the same concept. I bet an incel appreciates a hand job a lot more than someone who gets laid all the time does.
Yeah.
Right? Lab boy sterilized his foot to make that wine. Sure did. Sterilized it in vodka.
Yeah.
But
I'm good on that, dude.
it's the hedonic treadmill. It's a legit thing. Chandler Bong MS. Good question. So now that I've left my job, do I lose my security clearance as well? So yes and no. You get a different security clearance based on what organization and what job you're working for. My previous work, I can now talk a little bit more about. I can't really say all the details, but I was working out at the Savannah River site, which is regulated by the Department of Energy. Really, DOE, it talks about energy. It's really about atomic shit. So the Department of Energy has different clearancing levels than, say, Department of Defense, which is where, obviously, if I'm working for the Navy, that is where I will get my next clearance from. Now, I've had a DoD clearance in the past, and I had now a DOE clearance in the past. And so you do lose that when you lose that job. But because I've already had 2 clearances before, it was very easy to get my clearance for my next job. That's already done and handled. So the answer is yes, I lose that clearance, but in effect, it's just transferring from I will have a clearance. I did have a clearance from the DOE. Now I'll have it to the DOD. And our good friend Dodger is here. Dodger, how you doing? Welcome on in. Good to have you back in. 37 months of subscribing. Welcome to paradise. I'm glad you're having fun out in Myrtle. Hope things are getting well set up for you. Our friend Big Red was actually asking about you. Sounds like the move went really well. Very happy to hear that. Good to have you. Good to have you. What are your thoughts on the FBI, CEA, DEA, NHA, DHS by any chance? Well, if there's any three-letter agency I'd want to try and put the axe to first, it's got to be ATF.
Fuck the ATF.
Yeah,
Whack.
let's say y'all thought I had strong opinions on guns. Just wait. No, but seriously, FBI and CIA they actually do very necessary jobs, as does the NSA. DEA and DHS are a lot more questionable, but there's a difference between saying throwing the baby out with the bathwater. There is room for reform while also admitting that things, could be a lot better. So it's that sort of thing. Dodger watching the Masters. Yeah, hey, good for you, Dodger, getting out right before Masters Week showed up, because for any of you who have ever been to the Augusta, Georgia metro area, you know not to go there during Masters Week because, oh my God, the invasion of the Yankees.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I've seen the ATF at gun shows, at like really big gun shows. They'll actually have like a booth. And I always just wonder, like, so I assume you're not here for the alcohol or the tobaccos, right?
So I just go up to him and be like, how does it feel to be a larger scale version of Paul Blart Mall Cop? Because that's what you are.
I know people are razzing them all day, so I'm just like, I'm not going to approach a federal agent to try to talk shit to them. That just seems like a bad idea.
It does, but at the same time, it's so fucking tempting.
Yeah, I mean...
Isn't it illegal for the CIA to operate on U.S. soil? No comment.
I mean, I don't know if, like, the CIA and, like, having to do things by the letter of the law go together.
Well, the CIA mostly doesn't do stuff on U.S. soil. Most of the CIA... first off, with the CIA, a lot of what the CIA is presumed to do is a lot of the glorified, glamorized stuff, and a lot of that is covert operations in the foreign sphere of things.
They did, like, y'all know what MK Ultra was. And the only reason I bring that up, I know that was a long time ago.
It's the 50s.
Like, that's something that we know they did. It just makes me wonder, like, what kind of stuff has gone on the general public, like, I have no idea about,
Oh, did you hear about the one about the cat?
The cat?
So, I think this is the early 60s. The CIA planted a recording chip inside a cat and tried to get the cat trained to go into the Kremlin. Did not work at all.
That's so fucked up.
I love it, though. Honestly, the most useful... That is the best use for a cat I have ever heard of. I don't like cats.
I'm about to fix a hurricane and see who gets that green jacket. Nice.
Hey, tell you what. You enjoy. Did you end up going to the beach today or not, Dodge? Yeah, FBI tends to deal with the domestic stuff. Yeah. Now, the CIA has come up with some absolute whoppers of the last 50, 60 years, but the whole U.S. military-industrial complex has as well. Go look up at some of the unused Lockheed Martin prototypes over the last 70 years. Shit's wild. I mean, hell, even the big three. Ford came out with a car called the Nucleon in 1959. It was a concept car that had a miniature nuclear reactor in the hood, which, as a nuclear engineer, unfathomably based. As someone who knows maybe what reactor standards were in 1959, slightly less based, but a great idea for a concept. I did responsible adult crap, hit up Sunset Beach on Thursday when I have a day off. Good for you. Bro. Honestly, you got a lot to do, and your first day's tomorrow. I'm wishing you all the best of luck. Yeah.
Dude, I was talking about, like, plans for the future and that I might try to move back to Washington State. And so it's like, is that where Mount Rushmore is?
Bruh.
Not quite.
See how well it does in a car crash. So honestly, a nuclear reactor, if built properly, a car crash ain't going to do shit to it. It's the same reason you can fly a 747 into most nuclear-grade, seismically qualified buildings, and nothing is going to happen. It'll be like a bug on a windshield. That's also, I will admit, that same safety requirement makes modifications very difficult because now you're talking, multiple feet thick rebar-enforced concrete for fucking everything. So if you want to try and modify the structure, it's going to be a bitch and a half. TSM says I'm going to miss Dodger on stream. Well, TSM, if you haven't given Dodger a follow, well, that's going to fix you'll get your Dodger fixed that way. Oh, the cartel is being a terrorist group, more advanced. The CIA wants to be able to treat them as terrorists instead of letting law enforcement handle it. Honestly, if that means the DEA can get kicked to the curb, I'm kind of about it. Look, the CIA might be what some people call malicious, but they're a lot more effective than the DEA is. This is the public perspective on it will be a while. Yeah, people think nuclear is a lot more dangerous than it is. Really, nuclear goes wrong when we don't need nuclear powered cars. Frankly, that's dumb. We need electric cars and then nuclear reactors producing enough electricity to make those electric cars happen. The one thing I will say that's pissing me off with the big three on this one, and most car industries in general, is that they're going for the trucks first, which is the one that makes the least sense. The whole point of a pickup truck is that you can put shit in the back or haul shit behind the back and go great distances with it. That's why pickup trucks are beloved in most of rural America, where you have to drive long distances to get places. Texas being the poster child for this, right? So if Texas is the poster child for that, and you're driving 100, 200, 300, 400 miles without having stops, and you're out in the middle of nowhere, which is kind of how rural Texas is, an electric vehicle where the range is going to get sapped by the payload or by whatever you're hauling, not ideal. So I would think it would make far more sense for the big three to have focused on trying to capture the car market and the van market far before turning to pickup trucks. But it's because pickup trucks carry the biggest profit margins in the industry that the big three, and even to a lesser extent Tesla, is doing that.
Dude, pickup trucks are sweet though.
We disagree on that one. If I was going to get a pickup truck, I've been thinking about getting a car in Hawaii too. It's going to be a vehicle that's either a K van or a K pickup truck.
Dude, K trucks are sweet.
I prefer
K vans are sweet.
I prefer the vans. Then probably is the Vogel plant is in Georgia. It's right across the river from South Carolina, and I could basically see it from my old house.
It'd be really weird driving a stick in a right-hand drive car, like left-hand shifting.
That is true.
It's gonna be so weird.
It'll be a 5-speed manual and right-hand drive, which that should be pretty funny.
But I'm sure you'll get used to it.
Factoid, speaking of cars, any new car after 2014 or something is required to manufacture a box so the FBI can geolocate your vehicle. Well, with the existence of license plate, no, it's not. Not really. With the existence of license plates, that's more or less been a thing since the 90s. If you want a car to truly be stealth and covert, yeah, you got to go back to the 70s or the 80s, really, to avoid that. But, you know.
My truck. This guy drove my truck yesterday. Mm-hmm. Did you like driving it?
I will say, I'm not a huge fan of trucks, but if you're going to have a truck, be practical about it. Get a single cab, longer bed, and a 6-cylinder engine. You're not buying a truck to be fast. If you want a fast car, get a sports car.
A sweet light bar?
Well, that light bar is fucking obnoxious, but I know why you have it. At least you have a reason. Like, your main reason is to, not just piss people off. Yeah, sometimes you need to use it for that, but usually you use it defensively.
If it's nighttime and someone's doing something dumb, it's so much funnier than honking at someone when they're like not going at a light, flicking your light bar on real quick.
They get moving.
It's just it's scary because it's like you can get like a ticket for doing that.
Let's see. Have you ever been to Hungary before? There's an FBI unit working out of Budapest on an agreement of Europol unit.
I've been to Budapest.
Well, if you want to talk about Eastern Europe, go for it. I am actually going to grab a little bit more water.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the FBI doing stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I would have figured it would have been the CIA. Or maybe I misread that. No, he said FBI.
I don't know. Protecting American citizens abroad. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been to a few Eastern European countries, actually, But yeah, Budapest is pretty sweet. If y'all haven't been, I thought Hungary was pretty good. It wasn't probably my favorite food that I got to try over there. I really like the food in Croatia and like Bosnia more, but they have like really, really, really cool what's it called? Like bathhouses with like steam rooms and saunas and stuff there. Hungarian food slaps. I'm sure there's probably better stuff to try. I was only there for I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 days, but Budapest is also just such a massive city. Like you could get good like Vietnamese food or something there if you wanted, or sushi, I'm sure. A lot like Vienna. Yeah, I could probably see the similarities there. But yeah, I really liked Croatia, and I really like the Netherlands too.
I don't think crepes are Hungarian.
Crepes? I don't know. I think of that as French, but I could be wrong.
I mean, the dosa is effectively just an Indian crepe.
What is that?
Oh, this is Ferdinand. This is the actual mascot of the channel. So, figured I'd throw Ferdinand in here. So, that's kind of neat.
Have you ever been this comfy during a stream?
No, not even close, bro. This is awesome.
Croatian, good. Yeah, Croatian food is good.
Have I ever been to Moscow? I'm a U.S. nuclear worker. What do you think? No, I haven't been to fucking Moscow.
Yeah, I've never been to Russia either. It's I don't know. It's kind of tough. I'm hoping later in our lives, like in the matter of like decades, Russia will be like chill to go to again.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a hot minute until.
I think I've been to about 20 countries. You're probably somewhere in like the teens, I guess.
Let's see.
Because you haven't really gotten to travel much internationally since you were in college.
No, or before college, frankly. But
well, you went to Spain.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he traveled. He did like a study abroad in Spain. I never got to do that in school. I had to wait till I could fund it later in life.
Yeah, I think I'm at 12.
You can't work in the U.S. if you've ever visited Russia. No. So he has.
I'm a U.S. nuclear worker.
He has like security clearance.
Right, there's a very right. So if you have a security,
like I could go.
Right. If you have a security clearance, there's a list of countries the government. First off, if you go out of country at all, there's a ton of paperwork you have to fill out. But if you go to, there's a list of countries where the government basically says, please do not go here unless we send you here for obvious security reasons, right? If I'm a nuclear worker and I'm in Russia, I'm going to get solicited for intelligence. Like that's how the Russians operate. It's how the Chinese operate. It's how really most adversaries of the United States operate. They try to steal our shit because they can't out-enemy us.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually both been to China. We went when we were real little kids with our parents and then a couple other military families.
Oh, yeah.
And when we were in China visiting from Japan, because we lived over on an Air Force base there, the Chinese government literally had people monitoring our rooms. And this isn't like paranoia. We think this happened.
We know it happened.
We literally saw them because they tried to like separate all the kids on the group trip from their parents, and our parents were obviously like, no, we have like small children, they're gonna stay in the same room as us. And they like scrambled, and we saw like a bunch of people come out of like a secret door with like microphones and cameras. It was nutty. Like they kept like a tour guide like with us like the whole time we were there. And this is like early 2000s. I'm sure China is a lot different 20 years later, and not in a better way.
No, it's a lot. If anything, it's a lot
more authoritarian and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really sad because it's such a cool culture.
It's an incredible culture.
But,
it's as diverse a culture as the United States is.
Yeah.
Northern China and Southern China are very different.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
it was sus. It's like, dude, what are you trying to do? Weird. And it's crazy too. I don't know. I'm sure you probably do remember this. We saw this is like one of the few, because I was real little, but I have like a really really solid memory of seeing their police beat up this dude.
I told the stream about this.
Oh yeah, so like panhandling isn't legal there. Like you can't beg for money. And we saw this man who didn't have hands. Like I don't know what had happened. They looked like they got blown off in some kind of accident. So he had like nubs for hands, which I'm not a huge fan of people like begging for money. It really does annoy me when I see someone who appears able-bodied, like some 20-year-old like, you know, begging. But whatever. Your opinions are on the homeless people over here. But yeah, this man had like no hands. Like how was he supposed to have a job?
Yeah.
And we saw the police like beat the snot out of him, and like I was a little kid seeing that, like whoa. It's crazy.
It's one of those moments that crystallizes in your head and reminds you of just how blessed you are to be living in a free country.
I mean, we definitely. I know we have some issues here with policing at times, but like that was
there's levels to it.
Yeah, there's levels to that, man. That was crazy.
Now I'll tell you what. You know, speaking of that, this is another reason why I tell y'all don't get TikTok brain. Stay off of that shit.
Yeah.
That shit.
Are you gonna be streaming for a while longer?
Maybe another 15 to 30 minutes. Not that much longer. Why?
I need to go wrap up my homework. I got the last. I'm in grad school, so I got like my final project for a class due tonight at like midnight. I'm on the. It's like the last step of making the code, but then I have to like make a whole report about the.
You have to do all the flowery bullshit.
Yeah, like writing up the model to like. Yeah. You know, go through the data set and everything actually takes less time than writing the stupid report. So I'm gonna go, but all right, stream. It's good seeing you. I'll see you again in like another 6 months maybe in Hawaii.
Oh yeah,
Wanna
he's
go
definitely gonna come visit in Hawaii. But y'all, ladies and gentlemen, Lab Boys TV, go check out his shit on YouTube. !Lab if you want the chat command.
visit? in grad school, not in college. We made it out. So when I drop out of my master's program, I'll be okay.
Hey.
I don't have to keep going.
He's got more education than I do, folks.
It doesn't show at all.
He cool. He cool. Oh man. Yeah, they're all wishing you good luck.
Oh, thanks, boys. I appreciate it. Do you want anything like aloe drink or anything?
I got water. I'll probably go for some of that aloe drink a little bit later. Might go out and do for another one. We don't just allow adversaries to steal shit. The adversaries spend a lot of money on espionage because they know they can't out innovate us, and this is why we try to go really hard on OPSEC. But inevitably, there's some dickhead who tries to steal secrets, and then when they do that, they get 30, 40, 50-year life sentences. It's not fucking rocket science. If you are trusted with a clearance, you need to take that seriously. So if any fucking Chinese agent or Russian agent were to come up to me, start soliciting me, I'm going to try and get their contact information and get as far as fuck away as possible and report that to my nearest security office. We had a boop redemption. Oh, okay. Here we go. Boop. There we go. Yep, Ferdinand is chilling on the journey with me, so he's having a good old time. We're just... You just saw my back flop? Yeah. If y'all want to see me shirtless jumping into crystal clear water in Puerto Rico, go check out Lab Boy's channel, because that's something I did there. So, if you want to see the case of the Rosenbergs, chair, they deserved it. Same with Alger Hiss and all those fucking communists in the 40s and 50s. You should have gotten executed. All right? Fair and speedy trial. But once they're guilty, firing squad. Absolute firing squad. Oh, yeah. But Ferdinand's having a good time. He's chilling, seeing the Lone Star State a little bit. So it's been real good there. Go ahead and put him up. There we go. Nice. More authoritarian is a really odd non-communist. I'll be open, and now she regrets it. That's the thing. They were very prosperous under Hu Jintao and Jiang Zemin. I butchered that. My apologies to any Chinese in chat. But now Xi Jinping's taking a much more authoritarian bent. Some have called him kind of like a mini Mao. That's whenever you're getting compared to Mao, that's never a good sign. Oh yeah, Jack Ma, he ain't there. Yeah, that's the thing. The government doesn't trust the free market enough. That's what's going to hinder the Chinese economy from ever outperforming the American one. But yeah, my brother's pretty awesome. We hang out a lot. But yeah, this is, again, stay the fuck off of TikTok. That shit is propaganda. Every so often, you will see, they're very insidious about it. Every so often, you will see some bullshit criticizing the United States or trying to, God, I saw this the other day, fucking trying to sugarcoat how good the North Korean economy in particular is. Like, come on. Yeah. It's been a good couple of weeks though. I've really been enjoying the time off. There's a whole lot more to go there, but yeah, as far as there is the plushie boo. All right, that is redeemed. But yeah, for those of you who didn't know, yeah, it's Ferdinand the Bull. Right, my name's BullMuscle, so we have a channel mascot. The world's most insulated economy must be booming in North Korea. Eritrea would like to have a word with you on that one. Is a fish considered wet? Well, unless you're making jerky out of it, then yes. Sugarcoating is a very long shot on what you do with those facts. Never get in between a communist and his propaganda. But I would say a fish is considered wet. That's kind of a clever thing to think about. I'm going to go ahead and see real quick how many followers I've actually got. I'll see if I can get an exact number, because I know we're very close. We are on My channel, what does it say? Nah, it's just rounding up. Y'all left LE, you can't stand tankies. Yeah, no, exactly. Just it's one of these things that whenever I see someone really just dick riding like the Chinese or the Russians, it's like there is nothing preventing you from going over there, and you're never going to because you know somewhere deep down enough in your brain that the living standards aren't that awesome. And it's not the evil West there. It's just you trying to be cool and like, holier than thou that, more interesting ideology or some shit. Just stop. Hey, Solace, good to have you. Welcome on in. Couldn't stop the domino effect of Southeast Asia, Western South America, and Africa. Well, okay, the domino effect was a silly theory. Ho Chi Minh, for instance, in Vietnam, did not want to originally be a communist. Ho Chi Minh wanted independence. We rather unintelligently backed the French in the French Indo-Chinese War. We shouldn't have done that. The reason we did it was because the French threatened to leave NATO. We should have let them because, frankly, the French imperial system makes the UK and the United States look like saints. Hell, much of the reason countries like Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Chad are still so backwards and undeveloped today is because of the legacy of French imperialism, which has never truly gone away in those regions. Are the Philippines a liberal democracy too? Relatively. They're much more socially conservative, but you can still vote for many different candidates. Dude, there's loads of people decorating the Chinese. Anyway, I'll tell you the one I think we should do in the United States right now is try and give a little bit of aid to Argentina, because what you've got there is someone who is basically thumbing their nose at this whole BRICS idea, which is, again, our two biggest adversaries, the Russians and the Chinese, trying to create a dollar alternative currency. We need to try and help prop up the Argentinian economy to use that as a showcase to say, hey, you're better off with the American system. That's a good foreign. To me, that's one where a little bit of foreign aid would go a long way. And look, if we're willing to throw $40 billion at the Ukrainians, we could probably spare one or two for the Argentinians in the form of a loan, which hopefully would eventually get paid back after Malay's economic reforms take hold. I think rather highly of Javier Milei. I don't agree with everything he says, but he's honest about how bad the problems were. And he was honest about saying, hey, our government has lied about its fiscal standards for so long that things will have to get worse before they get better. Now, Argentina, I just think Javier Milei, right now, we have a golden opportunity to get a massive new, much more reliable ally in South America, and we're kind of squandering it. We need to reach out to Milei on that one. Not a huge fan of Elon Musk, but he's trying to set things up, get more lithium mining going in Argentina. And again, okay, yes, is Argentina a paragon of human rights around the world? No, but think about where other lithium mining countries are. Would you rather mine lithium in Argentina or somewhere in a most likely dictatorial country in Africa or in Asia? So you prefer the euro. The euro is not. The EU is not integrated enough to where the euro is a functional world currency relative to the dollar. The euro is still not nearly integrated enough. It's going to take a couple more decades before the economies of countries like Romania, Bulgaria, and hopefully Ukraine can fully get integrated. Any thoughts on Iran's attack on Israel? Iran's playing really stupid games. They're going to win a really stupid prize. The vast majority of Iran's citizens do not like their government. You have to remember, Iran is not historically a religiously fundamental society. Iran was home to Zoroastrianism. Iran was home to a lot of ethnic diversity. And that all stopped in 1979. The mullahs are running out their welcome here, and it shows, right? Go look at how Iran treats their women versus what Iranian women were doing in the 1970s. Iran is not like Saudi Arabia in this way. Culturally speaking, they are very different. I do not think the mullahs are making an educated move here by funding proxies. When you fund proxies, again, you play stupid games and you win stupid prizes. A great example of this is Pakistan. Pakistan has done, what Iran is doing is taking a play out of the Pakistani playbook. Pakistan, for years and years and years, wanted to destabilize Afghanistan and other neighbors and sent Islamic radicals to topple governments and cause instability in those countries. Of course, once those rebels took over large parts of Afghanistan, first in the 1990s and now much more recently, those same members of then the Mujahideen and then the Taliban and now the Taliban and parts of ISIS are going back into Pakistan and causing problems for the Pakistani government. They played a stupid game, they won a stupid prize. Iran is doing the same thing. By funding Hamas, the Houthis, and Hezbollah, they are pissing off other Sunni radicals, namely ISIS, who are going and terrorizing things like Qasem Soleimani's funeral, which is horrific, and it's a tragedy. I don't want that for the Iranian people, but again, your government plays stupid games, your government will win stupid prizes. I do like some Euro standards. I do wish the United States, in particular with cars, would adapt Euro, I think it's NCP crash standards, just because that way it would become economically feasible for small car manufacturers to export their cars to the United States, and the United States would get a flood of small, much more affordable cars that could help bring the cost of automobiles down in the United States. While I would love to see the United States become more urbanist, that's a lot less practical given the current layout of the system. So using smaller cars at least would cut oil consumption. And because people would be able to buy cheaper cars, it would drastically reduce inflation on automobiles, which is a major part of CPI inflation, given that automobiles are a very expensive purchase. Short of housing, it's the most expensive purchase that most people make. So there are certainly some things we could learn from the Europeans and certainly some things they could learn from us. I don't think the euro, though, is just quite credible enough to be a better option for a global reserve currency than the United States. And it's mostly because the Europeans have depended on the United States for decades for military protection. Now, if the Europeans can show that they are capable of acting in a uniform manner to handle their own affairs militarily, then yes, the euro can provide an alternative to the American dollar as the global currency for reserve. Unfortunately, the Europeans have refused to show this yet. The French are trying. This is why Macron is talking about going and fighting the Russians. Not really sure the French would win that, but understand why they want to do that. It makes sense for them. It also preserves the old French imperial system, which really pretty horrific stuff. But I can understand why the French are doing what they're doing. I'm not sure it's a good idea. Europe used to dominate militarily. They haven't since 1918, frankly. The idea that the United States was just coming in at the end of World War One is true only from a calendar standpoint. The amount of material and resources the U.S. was pumping out in World War One, okay, before we ever got serious about really becoming a global superpower, showed just how much we could have dominated by sheer production alone. Again, that was 1918. That was over a century ago. World War II, enough said. The record shows just what American dominance truly looked like. If we went to a wartime economy the way Russia already has, we would be able to obliterate most of the world. No. So the Great Depression the New Deal launched the U.S. out of the Great Depression at first. Through 1934 through 37, things progressively got better. However, a combination of different events, including cutting a lot of the New Deal programs a bit too early in 1937 and 38, and the worst agricultural performance of the United States ever in the Dust Bowl, which destroyed much of the agricultural outputs of not just Oklahoma and Kansas, but also Texas, Arkansas, Colorado, New Mexico, Nebraska. I mean that was a huge economic drag on the country in the late 1930s. So to bounce back from that, yes, war production helped immensely, but there's no one cause or one effect of the Great Depression. It's not quite that simple. The Germans nowadays are not a force to be reckoned with. The best army in the European continent right now is Poland, and it's not even close. No. Okay, that's bullshit. Germany doesn't have nuclear weapons. Germany doesn't have national pride. Germany's military is woefully underfunded and out of date. Uh, no, Poland has all of those things militarily. The Polish military is far stronger nowadays than the German military. The British military is still very strong, though. I think people like to underestimate the British when it comes to military tactics, when it comes to military might. That's not a wise idea. The UK still is a very stout military. Germany is more than just shying away from nuclear. They're shooting their economy in their own foot when it comes to dismantling their existing nuclear power plants in favor of coal, frankly. And what's more, they are the Germans are burning lignite coal. It's not even anthracite or black coal, it's brown coal, which is the most polluting. Like, that's the shit India burns. So the Germans are absolute fucking hypocrites when it comes to the energy transition. They're not serious about it. They just hate nuclear power. No. The countries with nuclear weapons are as follows: the United States, Russia, China, France, the United Kingdom, uh, in theory, North Korea, Israel, though they won't confirm it, and Iran is trying to get there. The other countries that have had nuclear weapons but do not currently are South Africa. Believe it or not, the South Africans. Oh, yes, and Pakistan, excuse me. Yes, India and Pakistan as well. Appreciate that, big game, Mikey. Yes. South Africa previously did have nuclear weapons but chose to get rid of them when apartheid ended, which is pretty interesting. I said Russia. At least I thought I said Russia. I said Russia at the beginning. And then Ukraine had nuclear weapons until 1994. There is a treaty where Ukraine gave up their nuclear weapons so long as everybody, and the United States and Russia, would guarantee that Ukraine's 1991 borders were not to be touched. I wonder who lied about that. Yeah, Ukraine had nuclear weapons from 1991 to 1994. Now, of course, Ukraine could never have kept those weapons. Let's be very realistic about this. Nuclear weapons require a lot of brain power and a lot of maintenance to ensure that they work properly and don't irradiate people who are supposed to operate them. All of the brain power to operate Soviet, which is what those were, nuclear warheads, remained in Moscow. All the codes remained in Moscow. All the engineering remained in Moscow. So, practically speaking, Ukraine had a lot of paperweights on their hands. They couldn't functionally do anything with those nukes. Europe was progressive. Shouldn't Germany switch to green energy? The Germans are trying, and in doing so, realizing that you can't just replace that much baseload power when you are the biggest industrial powerhouse of Europe. The Germans have a ton of heavy industry. Heavy industry requires 24/7 electric power. Wind and solar cannot provide that, so the Germans have to either burn fossil fuels or what they were doing 10 to 15 years ago, which I will give credit to Donald Trump on. Donald Trump actually called them out on this, buy shit tons of gas from the Russians. Yeah, you can never trust the Kremlin run Russia. Well, I think the way the Russians, I think there's a difference here. I think under the problem is that the Yeltsin administration would have lived up to that promise, but the Yeltsin administration was so incompetent at running their own economy that it allowed someone like Putin to step in and almost much in the same way that Hitler, frankly, took advantage of a lot of Germans' wounded pride after the 1920s and the Weimar Republic. I think something very similar has happened to Russia. No, I'm not comparing Putin to Hitler, okay? One is a genocidal maniac, one is simply a standard tin pot dictator, but it's the national pride aspect of it. In the 1920s, Germany went through multiple severe economic depressions. Similarly, in the 1990s, Russia went through multiple severe economic depressions. One tiny country that's a secret global superpower. I mean, you're you could make a lot of different. Okay. So it really depends on what you define as power. You know, if we're talking soft power, then it's got to be the Vatican because the Vatican has influence with like dozens of Catholic countries. We're talking small but very mighty economic powers. It's where countries like Singapore, countries like Bahrain, the UAE, and South Korea come into play. So it really depends on what you mean. The Netherlands is another one. Yeah, the Netherlands have created some of the most fertile land on Earth. Absolutely. The Netherlands are also known for skimping immensely on their NATO spending bills because they've relied on American defense. The biggest ones, the biggest countries in terms of laggards on defense spending are historically the Netherlands, Belgium, and Canada. The Canadians get away with it because they know anybody who attacks America's hat is going to get absolutely deleted by America. And the Netherlands and Belgium, they claim to get away with it because they have very high economies, very high GDP economies based on trade. But it's mostly because they just underfund the shit out of their militaries and expect America to take care of it for them. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm going to probably wrap up the stream fairly soon. It's been pretty good, but I've got a couple other things that probably should handle today. Not really sure when the next stream will be. It may be all the way out in Hawaii. It may happen in Washington. It may happen in California. We will see. There's a good friend of mine. Y'all have seen Hiei2K7 on stream. Going to be able to hang out with him in California. So, oh yeah, no. Here's the wild thing too. The Canadians, when they do fight, are brutal. The Canadians are, I don't want to call them successful war criminals, but many of the items in the Geneva Convention are there because the Canadians put them there. World War One and Two, actually, I think it was World War One. The Canadians did this. The Canadians baited in starving Germans into a trench with cans of food, and then killed them, all of them. Yeah, don't fuck with the Canadians. Yeah, go look up Canada in World War One. You're gonna see some very interesting stories. Again, the Geneva Conventions did not exist until after that, but holy shit, Canada. Wasn't the EU just create some sort of military organization or agency? Because why would they need to? That's what NATO does. Basically, everyone who is in the EU is in NATO. Okay, fine. Not everyone, but close enough. You have a Swede from Texas Tech. Throws up a tortilla. Does he say Ale? That's quite funny. There's an EU army doesn't exist. Yeah, I don't. If you wanted to dismantle NATO, which honestly we could have done before 2022. Again, this is why I don't have a lot of respect for Vladimir Putin as a leader. He played himself. NATO had never been weaker until Russia invaded Ukraine. If Russia had continued to play at its games that it was doing in 2021, Russia would have continued to get away with destabilizing Ukraine. Instead, Russia drank the stupid juice. Swedish Texas Tech alum, very close to a green jacket. I guess we'll find out. Pew pew and all that jazz. Good questions. Good questions. Let's see who all's live on Twitch. Putin threw away Russia's future. I would agree with that. I would say so. Would you rather be a guy from Lubbock or the TSIP? God, if those are my two options, then Reckham Tech. But like, ugh. Can't say I'm loving those two options, but you know. See if I can go to account settings, profile. I want to see if I can see. I guess I can't. That kind of sucks. I was trying to see exactly how many how many followers I had, but I can't do that right now on mobile. Oh well. Dictators tend to have egos. Hitler didn't cross Stalin. Nazi Germany would be the largest country in Europe. I mean, yeah, pretty much. The other options are all from Berkeley. Echo. So good question. The timer under the FI thing is, I don't know. I need to probably get rid of that at this point. I did hit my FI numbers. Stock market has come back down a bit since then, so I'm actually sitting a little bit under my number right now. It's like 98%. So, you know, it's going to vary with the stock market. So just because I hit my FI number never meant that, oh, well, I'm going to retire immediately. No, that's silly. I'm not going to do that. LT, good to see you. Have not seen you in a hot minute. Good to have you on. But now, as far as the FI number is concerned, I will probably take that down coming fairly soon because, yeah, more or less, reach that target. It's great. But now, of course, since I'm going out and doing a new job in Hawaii, so it's like, you know, I'm going to be working there because I want to try the job, not because I have to. So it's a good feeling. That is just about it for us, though. Let's see who we've got live right now. We've got Rotero, Jasu, Radio Dead Air. No, I'm not doing radio. I don't even know why I'm still subscribed to Radio Dead Air. Let's see here. Yeah, LT, if you want to catch up, there's a ton of stuff that has happened since you were last on here on the Discord. You're going to want that. I would need to take like another 15 minutes just to try and catch you up to everything. But long story short, I am moving to Hawaii, and I'm in the middle of the road trip here, which is why it looks a little bit different. I would recommend reading the announcements on that one. That'll probably catch you up faster. Let's raid Jasu, I think. Yeah, let's do that. Alrighty. So raid message is going to be Bull Rush. That's all good, LT. I'm just glad you're here. Yeah, or raid Jasu. So that's going to be it for me today. I will try and give you guys some more heads up as to when another stream could happen, but really God only knows when that is. That's going to be about it. I've got to keep going, keep moving west, and I'll give you guys updates when and how I can have them. Until then, y'all make good decisions. As good decisions form your actions. As actions form your habits. As habits form your values. As values can be the guide star through the rough waters of life. Much love, y'all. Come in for the hug. And raid ski. thanks. I got a gift sub. That's baller as hell.